Last time, on Masks 616. Joe was tearing up trees. Meta tried to talk him down. An energy-blasting zombie moose came running, attracted by something the team was doing. Roddy ran into angry vines. Alex led the moose away, while the vine shenanigans were interrupted, as was Joe, who ended up caught in a floating butterfly ball. A stone golem-like entity was spotted by Alex. She was cross with them, especially Joe, for smashing the trees. Something about his having accessed one of the temples in Africa, and he should know better. Alex asked the golem about a temple guardian in Africa. The guardian was surprised to discover the answer was no. Then, Tahi, Summer, said, "We should all talk." And now, the action. Once everyone was moving the right direction, Tahi was swarmed by butterflies who hovered her along at a brisk pace. Roddy calculated they were probably 3 to 4 miles inland, and far above sea level. No trail. Joe trailblazes. Tahi comments, "Try not to make it too easy for us to be followed." Alex takes umbrage at her tone, "Hey, you shot at us." Tahi says, "I didn't shoot at you. I stopped things from pulling trees on top of you. I stopped Joseph from making anything worse." Alex replied, "You could have just announced yourself peacefully. I am Alex Shelby." Roddy adds, "I'm Sink. I do stuff." Tahi says, "It appears that Joseph is without his facilities. I assumed, at the time, he was acting with foreknowledge and malice." Roddy shrugs, "Nah. No malice, just stupid." Joey grumbles, "Hey." Tahi glances at Met, who has not been introduced, but does not look at Kiln. Eventually the group reaches a high point, and then descends into a slightly lower area. An ancient caldera? Plenty of dormant, volcanic formations in Costa Rica. Strangler figs much in evidence. Forest, rocks. Nothing that can be farmed on, even coffee. On one ridge, the rock formations are identifiable as ruins. From above, looks like rock outcroppings under strangler figs. Alex makes a note about satellite surveillance, later. Tahi leads them into some ruins, twists, turns, crumbled dead end, with Joe kind of squishing in sideways. She lays a hand on the wall, and lines light up very subtly on the wall. A section of wall pulls out of the way, grinding. Lights come up. A flight of stairs. Think of the treasure room from The Mummy, but with no treasure. Tahi turns to the group, pointing at people, "Alex. Joseph. Sink. May I have a name by which to address you, Ancient?" she says to Kiln. Kiln gives their name. Tahi nods, stiffly. To Met, "I sense here a kindred spirit, attempting to keep Joseph from doing himself and other life forms harm." "My name is Met." Tahi nods, "Times have changed. Why are you here? Not to save another life, I assume?" Joe says, "What happened to me?" Tahi frowns, "What don't you know?" Joe, "Everything from being nearly dead to being, like this." Tahi, "You were healed from some massive injury. Apparently. Weird akimbo ritualistic stance. Alex thinks the pose looks familiar. You were recovered from a stasis, approximately 10 years, then out of stasis." Joe, "What?" Tahi, "Files on UR, pose, just before brought out of stasis, your name was applied as Joseph Moore. That identity was appended? What happened?" Joe, "That's what I'm trying to find out." Tahi, "Your society has been accessing the temple for many, many years." Joe, "Wait, what, wait?" Alex pulls up photo of Joey from before. Tahi, "Yeah, I know." Oh, body language changes. Looks back and forth, "You weren't born like this. You were a human, like." Points at each, Alex, Matt, Roddy, "Like him?" Joe, "Yes." Tahi, "You were that, and now you, Holy Mother, what did they do?" Alex, "Movie called The Fly," explains, "and I think that's what happened." Tahi, "Abominable, but no." Alex, "Any great apes/primates servicing your temples?" Tahi, "Well, an entire society." Roddy, "We have an entire city of giant apes?" Glee. Tahi, "More a society." Kiln, Tahi, You said Joey was put into a stasis. Tahi, the body now given that name was put into stasis a decade ago. It was old and they were regenerating it. But, the spirit had already fled. The ancients tutored these people when they were growing. They remained after the ancients were gone, no guardian to protect it, so they came to know the place. Joe, there's a city of people like this? Tahi, you keep saying city, I keep saying society. Tahi, checks in with Kiln. Kiln, I am from my time. This is not my time. Tahi, are there more of you, still? Kiln, only one I called a comrade. They also came from my time, and came the long way. Not my people, but a friend. Tahi, ancients are no more, then. Seems intent, I wouldn't like to guess, but if you, Joseph, were badly injured, and there were no other survivors of your people, they might have tried to save you the only way they could. Although they would have kept you. Joe remembers being shot. Thinking, oh God, I'm dying. He has some weird visions, a stone slab, gorilla people. Lying on a hillside as Quill Foundation people rappel down from a chopper, rescuing him. Alex, can this be reversed and Joe be made human again? Tahi, what was done was never previously done. It is theoretically possible, but only the stunningly skilled or mind-numbingly ignorant could have attempted or succeeded at it. I'd have to know what was done, in detail. Joe, they cut out my brain and put me inside. Tahi, no, more like copying a book into another, utterly blank book. Roddy, so, would they still have Joey's body? Tahi, conservation of energy equals yeah, probably not. Met says, this runs very close to the evil use of a related tech in my time. Tahi, you came the long way? Met, my travel was instantaneous. Tahi, but you're human, the humans were not. Met, but I am from the future, not the past. Tahi, Joseph, you are what you are because you were pulled from a dying body into one that was healthy and unoccupied, and they wanted you to live for some reason. I cannot say why. I do not know, I only have record of their access of the temple, which they haven't accessed again since that time. If that is what you want to know, that is all I can tell you. Joe, okay, you guys ask your questions, I'll be standing over there. Goes over there, back turned, shoulders tense. Kiln, was mine the same kind of stasis as Joey's? Joe corrects, Joey's body stasis. Tahi, yes, comparable. Kiln, I remember waking up in a future time, there were no notes about how long it had been. Tahi, is lack of knowledge of your past a recurring theme of your group? Joey raises a hand. Kiln knows how they got in their situation, there's just a time passage issue they don't love. Tahi, no record of any being having been sustained for so long. But the nature of the stasis chambers would imply if they kept working after the fall, they would keep working indefinitely. Joe, rolls to take a powerful blow. Gets an 8. Give ground, opposition gets an opportunity. Roddy asks his stupid question, what was Joe's new body's name before it was amended to Joe? Tahi is affronted, what possible, you heard me say, that their spirit was gone, the body had been preserved, you're speaking of the dead, by all accounts one of their great people, what are you doing, that your comrade is undergoing this revelation and you crack jokes like a jester at temple? Have you some purpose? Be aware of this group, this band you are a part of. Have a care. It is beneath me to say more, but if a child has a sharp knife, it should perhaps be taken away from them. Shift labels attempt Tahi, mundane plus, superior, Roddy declines, so rolls, 12. Shifting labels, clearing guilty. Look here, Stone Lady. I do a lot for this team. I pull the short straw when nobody else wants to. Everyone stares, then Alex looks at Joe, and Joe is gone. Alex leaves a drone with the group, and goes out looking for Joey. Roddy thinks, what would Powertronic do? We don't know anything about this society you're talking about, but we need all the info we can get. Tahi, are you pursuing this? Roddy, yes. It's important to Joe. But if you're not gonna help us, we're gonna leave. Roddy rolls a provoke and gets an 8. She gives him the silent treatment, turns to Kiln, and says, what information would you have of me, Ancient? I will give you all I can. Met notices Joe and Alex gone. Turns to Drone and says, Alex, where's Joe? Alex, looking for him right now. Haven't found him yet. Met, with all these drones? You're slipping. Alex, of course, I might be lying to you and maintaining his privacy. The drone is gesturing with chopper-like arms. Joe realizes he's heading back to sub. No. I don't want to be there. I'm dead. My body is dead. Even my brain, I guess, is dead. Just my thoughts in this body. I'm not human. I shouldn't be in human company. In anyone's company. This is about when he reaches all the jungle damage. What'll I do now? Not back to the ship. Yeah, all those psych profiles showed I was me, transformed into a large, strong, resilient gorilla. Now I know I'm not human anymore. They'll be better off without me. She'll be better off without me. Walking through forest, and there's a POV of what's stalking him. And just when it's about to strike, a drone drops down in front of Joe. A bionic arm thumps into his chest, and Alex says, "Can I give you a hand?" The wrap-up. Met was speaking with Alex, via drone. And the conversation between Joey and Alex is piping back over that channel. Roddy is talking/arguing with Summer, who is trying to ignore him. Kiln has questions, but is more peeved at Tahi about how she's treating Roddy, so repeats all the questions Roddy asks, then turns to him. Okay, team leader, what's the plan? Tag team berating. End of session stuff. Joey grows more into the image of himself, and not a good one, freak +1, savior -1. Roddy grows into the image of himself. Kiln grows closer to team, specifically Roddy, who shifts their superior +1, freak -1. Met grows closer to the team, specifically Kiln, who shifts her savior +1, danger -1, and she is owed the move history past and future, next session. Alex grows closer to team, specifically Roddy, who shifts soldier -1, and mundane +1,